Another week and another character trailer for BLEACH Rebirth of Souls. What is up everyone, it is me DevilNeverCry, and in today's video we're going to be covering the latest Yoruichi character trailer for BLEACH Rebirth of Souls. As always, if you want to stay up to date with anything and everything BLEACH Rebirth of Souls, do be sure to subscribe. It seems that Bandai Namco are dead set on revealing a new character trailer at the start of each week, and judging by the announcement trailer, we have Orihime, Kon, Chad, and Renji still to go. Well, maybe Kon not so much, but the others I'm sure will definitely be getting their own dedicated trailer. Diving into Yoruichi's trailer then, it seems like they're really focusing on the Goddess of Flash aspect of her character. The show at this point early on obviously makes a point of stating she has the fastest flash step in existence and of course is the one that teaches Ichigo the basics of the maneuver, but a lot of that seems to be reflected in her moveset, which makes sense. Though I assume a lot of people probably know the character thanks to the cat transformation shenanigans and of course that one very infamous Goddess of Thunder pose where she enters that form and you know, that infamous manga panel that I'm sure degenerates worldwide have come to know and love quite fondly. Anyway, getting back on track and talking about the gameplay, her signature move is the Awaken or the Flash Breaker, which is both an offensive and defensive ability basically depending on which context it's used in. When it's used as a standard attack, it throws a short-range projectile forward in front of her. When held, it seems to be some sort of a parry, though I'm not quite sure why they call it a parry here, as it's less a parry and more so just a perfect dodge, so to speak. Just like some of the other counter or parry moves that we've seen from other characters, it looks like you have to hold the input for this to work. And I'm kind of curious as to whether or not there's going to be any drawbacks to this move, and perhaps whether or not if you mistime it, you'll be left vulnerable to other attacks. Otherwise, this can be quite overpowered. You just stand there and hold the button and basically dodge anything that comes your way. But I do ultimately like the implementation and specifically the animation here, as it really looks like one of those blink and you'll miss it sort of moves that can quite easily put you in a spot of bother if you end up overcommitting to an attack string mid-combo. The first spiritual pressure move they showcase, Bako, is a long-distance rushing attack that can be used to close down the gap. Makes sense considering she's a close-range fighter, but based on how they've described it here, it looks as though it can have two different follow-up attacks using either Hakudo or Kido. The most confusing aspect of this though is that in the footage shown, it doesn't look like the follow-up attacks are all too different. Ichigo ends up flying away the exact same distance. Perhaps maybe one follow-up attack does more damage than the other or is faster to recover out of. Who knows? We'll have to get hands on to see what the difference is. Future DNC here with an editor's note to clear up the confusion. The follow-up attack features both Hakuda and Kido, similar to the attacks that Soifun uses when in her Shunko state, hence the effects that look like lightning. Her other spiritual pressure move, Oboro Neko, seems to be entirely dedicated towards defense. This again is another stance you take in which you're able to parry an enemy, except this time, unlike her other move, this automatically follows up with a barrage of flash step attacks. It looks like the distinction between this move and Flash Breaker is that with Oboro Neko, this comes with guaranteed set amounts of damage, provided of course your opponent isn't able to break out of the barrage of strikes. And Flash Breaker seems to be geared towards those who are experienced with the character who perhaps have their own combo strings they're able to pull off for perhaps more damage. And just like the rest of the character trailers, they end up capping off this one with a reverse your fate moment where they show us Yoruichi's awakening. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Yoruichi's awakening is her Shunko state, which I'm sure many of you likely remember from that time where Yoruichi faced off against Soifeng. Her awakening boosts both her speed and her attack damage, making her perfect for rushing down an opponent. Beyond the gameplay, something that stuck out to me in this trailer particularly, and in some of the other trailers, is just how fantastic the music is in the background. Digging into the information that we have, it looks like it's Takeharu Ishimoto that's doing the soundtrack, which kind of explains things, considering he's worked on titles like Final Fantasy X, Crisis Core, the Kingdom Hearts series, and the World Ends With You series, which I definitely recommend if some of you haven't played it already. And that about wraps it up for Yoruichi's trailer. After we get through all of the aforementioned character trailers that we already know are included, who do you think we're going to see? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm betting we're going to get somebody who's iconic, perhaps somebody like Kenpachi or maybe even one of the Espada. If you enjoyed today's video, do be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to stay up to date with everything BLEACH Rebirth of Souls. With all that said and done, it has been me, DevilNeverCry. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next video.